But before this riot, we were in a prayer circle, and the other gang member, Mexican gang members, they came and they tapped me on the shoulder and they're like, "Hey, Jojo, let me talk to you." And I said, "What's up?" They're like, "Go over there where all the homies are because something's about to kick off. Something's about to happen." And I looked around, everything's quiet. I mean, in LA County Jail, when it gets quiet, that's a bad scene. It's a bad scene. Because normally it's not like a beehive. Everybody's talking and there's movement and everything. And that's normal. But when everything gets quiet, that's like the quiet before the storm. And I look around, I'm like, oh man, something's about to happen. And then when I go back to the Christian brothers and I tell them, I said, we need to pray right now. We need to pray, something's happening. And the black brothers are like encouraging me to go over there with your crowd, with your people. And I was like, you are my people. Like we need to stay together. We need to pray. He was like, go over there where you'll be safe. Go over there with your people, and we'll be praying. And I told him, no, we need to pray now. And in the middle of that prayer, um, a big riot happened. In this riot, two blacks ended up getting killed, and that's how serious it is in LA County. I mean, a riot in there. I mean, there's gonna be blood. And what happened is the Mexicans had like kind of like the victory. You would say they won that Royal
Right.
Rumble or whatever. They got the upper hand, and all the blacks were in the front by the cages where the cops are and stuff. And um, the Mexicans, they started celebrating and they're like excited, and somebody says within the Mexican circle there's more blacks in the back, which were the Christians. The Christian black brothers were in the back, and they were already in the process, Jessica, of running over there and attacking them. And God had me run over there and stand in front of my black brother. I literally put my hands up and said, "You can't touch these brothers. You need to leave them alone." And when right after that happened, like it was crazy though, because they're coming and they already have knives out and they were about to stab me, and they stop and they just leave the blacks alone. The Christian brothers that were there, they were safe. Nothing happened to them. And and when they separated all of us, when the cops came in, they came and they shot at us, with the rubber bullets, and they maced us and everything. And then they end up separating all of us. They put all the Mexicans in one big holding tank, all the African Americans in another tank. And then all the Mexicans were all excited. They were celebrating, showing their battle wounds and stuff. And I'm right there, and they were like, "Oh, Jojo, we saw you, man. You were fighting." I was like, "No, I wasn't. I was praying. I was praying." And they were like, "Nah, we saw you. You were fighting like everybody else. And I was like, "No, I wasn't. And I realized, like, you know what? They're setting me up. They're getting ready. You don't ever stand against your own race,
Mm.
ever. That's like a death sentence on the spot."
Right.
And there was this other Mexican there that was a gang member, but he had been going to church and he had been saying he was a Christian. And when you don't get involved, they end up victimizing you. And sure enough, Jessica, within seconds of them separating all of us, when we're in our own tank now, there's no more blacks with us. We're just all Mexicans. They end up beating that other Christian up. I mean, they like broke his jaw, his eye. It looked like it
Oh,
was coming out of his socket. It was like, and I went over there and ran to him, which was like strike number two. You don't come to the rescue of somebody that has it coming. And I'm like, I'm just messing up left and right. You know what I mean? I'm like
right.
doing things that normally I shouldn't be doing, and I know better. But the Holy Spirit in me is moving. So I have my back against the wall the whole time, Jessica, thinking at any moment, it's my turn, any moment. And I had other young gang members come up to me and tell me, "Hey, man, that was cool what you did for your Christian brothers." And I'm thinking in my whole head, I know this little, you know, facade. I know it's not true.